All right, so what's all over the news right now are tapes released by Woodward showing that he was interviewing Trump. We'll see a clip here that part of it is from February, part of it is from March. So it's really important in this video to pay attention to the dates when things are. They're usually on the screen. I'll try to mention it from time to time, but the dates are really important, right? So February 7th, this is really before much came of the virus and really before Trump did much of anything about it. There's another clip in a minute that comes from March, and then we're going to see clips of the fallout from early in that time, what he was telling us, and then also we're going to hear McEnany talk about it. But they're all at different times, so it's important to kind of pay attention to when these events were taking place, right? What we're going to hear in here is him say a number of things that he contradicts later to the public, to us. So let's take a look.
It goes through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. You know, the touch, you don't have to touch things, right? But the air, you just breathe the air. That's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. This is more deadly. This is 5 per... this is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%. So this is deadly stuff. Well, I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you,
sure, I want you to.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes,
because I don't want to create a panic.
Okay, so he straight up said a number of things there, like plain as day, right? No denying it. If you want to go back, you want to try to make an argument that he wasn't saying those things, go back and watch it again. He straight up said that it's deadlier than the flu. He's told us numerous times it's about the same as the flu. He told us that it's very dangerous, that it's airborne. And he mentioned the fact we saw there that, and in the part that was in March, so it was after some of those clips where he's telling us a no big deal, that it's a no big deal. He says, I wanted to play it down. I still want to play it down. I don't want to cause panic. So he's straight up admitting that he lied to us. You can say, oh, no, he said downplaying. Okay, well, you're being dishonest with people to mislead them. And he might say, well, I had a good reason to mislead the American public, which is a pretty hard pill to swallow. He admitted he misled the American people. He downplayed it. He wants to call it downplaying, fine. And he says he's going to continue to downplay it, fine. That's called lying. That's called lying. All right, so this is a more recent clip. This is actually in response to fallout from the videos that we just saw released this week. So this is current times. This is like early September. So we're jumping ahead to early September to see what McEnany's coverage is going to be for this. How's she going to cover the president? Let's see what she has to say about it.
You quoted Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci is also apparently on the record saying of President Trump that his attention span is like a minus number and his sole purpose is to get reelected. That's according to veteran journalist Bob Woodward. I think the bottom line here is that the president, by his own admission in private on the record, acknowledged the depth of this crisis and yet told the American people something very different. How is that, at its core, not an abject betrayal of the public trust?
The president has always been clear-eyed with the American people. He was always clear-eyed about the lives we could lose. Again, from this podium, he acknowledged that this was serious back in March, that 100,000, 200,000 lives could be lost. And with regard to Dr. Fauci, you're referring to a quote he allegedly told.
Okay, so then she goes into trying to discredit Fauci and stuff. But what we have here is a situation where she is now trying to make it seem like, oh, no, he was always up front. He was always being up front. He said this at this time. He said this at this time. So McEnany, she's trying to say it didn't happen. Let's see. Let's see if it happened.
Now, the virus that we're talking about having to do, a lot of people think that goes away in April with the heat, as the heat comes in. Typically, that will go away in April. I've spoken to President Xi. They're getting it more and more under control. So I think that's a problem that's going to go away. But when you have 15 people, and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be down to close to zero, that's a pretty good job we've done. It's going to disappear. One day, it's like a miracle. It will disappear. And from our shores, it could get worse before it gets better. It could maybe go away. We'll see what happens. You have to be calm. It'll go away. It will go away. Just stay calm. It will go away. We need a little separation until such time as this goes away. It's going to go away. It's going to go away. It will go away. It is going away. And it will go away. And we're going to have a great victory. It's going to go away, hopefully at the end of the month. And if not, it hopefully will be soon after that.
But
has
So it
your
is going-
thinking on this evolved?
Kim, it is going away. I didn't say
Warmed up in
date.
April?
I said it's going away, and it is going away.
You were saying things like, I think it's a problem that's going to go away within a
Which I'm
couple of
right
days.
about. It will go away.
But I think what happens is it's going to go away. This is going to go away. It's going to go. It's going to leave. It's going to be gone. It's going to be eradicated.
Trump goes back to this, oh, well, it's just going to go away. It's just going to go away. That is sort of the blueprint of downplaying it, to sit there in private. And if you notice that most of those clips that we just saw where he was saying it's just going to go away were in between the two conversations and before the March conversation where he kept saying, oh, yeah, I like to downplay it. I still want to downplay it. That's how I want to do it. I'm going to downplay it. He's admitting that he was lying to us all that time. And this, McEnany gives us a quote that I absolutely cannot stand. I cannot take it when she says this. So let's listen to her excuse for him saying it's just going to go away. And by the way, this is that recent clip of McEnany again. This is like early September where she's going to make this claim right here.
Deadly stuff about coronavirus. In private, on the record. In public, though, February 28th, he says, one day, it's like a miracle, it will disappear.
Well,
It's one thing to, as a public figure, not to try to incite panic. It's a very different thing, respectfully, to lie and mislead the American people about a crisis that has claimed nearly 200,000 American lives.
No one is lying to the American people. One day COVID will go away. I think we can all hope for that day.
Okay, and this is just, in my opinion, first of all, that is the argument of a 5-year-old. Okay, that is not how grown-up people have genuine discussions. That is disingenuous, and that is an argument that a child makes to say, oh, well, it will go away. No one lied because eventually it will go away. We're about to hit 200,000 people dead, and you're trying to make some kind of logical loophole in your argument to say, oh, well, it's going to go away eventually, so there's no lie being told here. While the reporter lays it out and says, okay, he sat there with Woodward in private and talked about how dangerous it was and how deadly it was, and it's worse than the flu. And then he comes out and tells us the opposites, and she says he's not lying because eventually it will go away. That is absurd. That is a level of evil. I can't imagine what it takes. What do you have to have in your heart to say that on national television to the American public as 200,000 people are dead? Oh, no, nobody lied. No, everything's fine. It'll go away. It's going to go away eventually. Well, yeah, when there's no more people left, it'll go away. Or when we have a vaccine eventually. So what about in the meantime when hundreds of thousands of Americans are dying? Now there's this argument going around that he was actually protecting us. He was actually looking out for us because he was just trying to keep everything calm. Because we know that's Trump's way of doing things, keeping everything calm, right? This was a line that even Fox News contributors could not stomach.
My job to rebut Dr. Fauci. It is my job to say that there are only two people on the ballot come November 3rd, Donald Trump and Joe Biden. This is a third-party candidate, but it doesn't seem like it's getting much traction there. Dr. Fauci did a very good job yesterday with John Roberts pushing back on these reports, but mostly making it clear that it is not his job to quarterback these kinds of disputes, and he's concerned first and foremost with American safety and public health as we're nearing 200,000 lives lost to the coronavirus. This is a problem for the Trump administration because he is on tape. Last week, we spent all this time talking about whether anonymous sourcing, even if it was confirmed by multiple outlets, including Fox News, was legitimate. Now you have the president in his own voice saying, I purposely downplayed it. I know it's airborne. I know it's more serious than the flu. That's a very serious thing that he held back. And Mike Pence as well was in that briefing on January 28th with Robert O'Brien, and he didn't tell the American public as well. They took an hour yesterday in terms of pushing back the press briefing to figure out what they were going to say. And Kayleigh McEnany and team decided on he didn't want to panic us. That is a lie. Donald Trump's entire presidency is based on fear and panic, whether it's migrant caravans, Antifa, anarchists riding on an airplane, or Cory Booker coming to destroy the suburbs. This president feeds off fear and panic, and they're in complete spin mode about how to fix this.
I'm trying to shut her down.
Before we call the White House press, and not we, you, calling people liars for the intent, it actually has been said, the president has already talked about it. He's admitted that, yes, he downplayed this. He didn't want to panic anybody. So, I mean, that's on tape. So I don't know where you're getting the lie from,
yeah.
but let's move on.
Okay, so here's the problem. I know I'm preaching to the choir, right? If you're watching my channel, you already agree that this is a total dumpster fire, and you've known it for months. So I'm putting it out there, but you already know this. But what's scary is that there are still 30% of the population which will find a way to jump through their mental gymnastics in order to make this seem like he is a hero. He did this for us. He did this so that we wouldn't tear each other apart, which, as we just saw, makes no sense at all. But they will do that because it is so much more important than thinking that maybe you would vote for not even a true Democrat, like a centrist Democrat is the other choice. And people would rather stick to their guns and go with this individual. This is why we can't treat politics like teams, because people are so unwilling to leave their own team, even in the face of an individual who is responsible for tens of thousands of additional lives that didn't need to go, right? There would have been a death toll no matter what, but it didn't need to be at 200,000 people, which we are going to hit any day now. And they will jump through hoops to justify that, no, he's actually a hero for this. He was trying to save us all from ourselves and our panic and the chaos. It's disgusting, and it is so disappointing to me that this won't be the end. I've been hearing people say this week, this will be the end of him. This is going to be the thing that's the end. You know what? People were saying the same thing when that tape came out of Trump on that bus, saying horrible things that still get quoted all the times, treating women terribly. People said, oh, this is going to be the end of him. And I remember talking to people going, I don't think so. If nothing before this changed people's minds, I don't see this doing it. And this isn't going to do it either, because the people that have stuck by him this far will stick by him. Remember, he can shoot people on Fifth Avenue. He literally is killing all sorts of people everywhere, and they are still standing by him. And this is concerning, and it is terrifying that in a democracy we have up to a third or approximately a third of our population that will not walk away from this man no matter what he does when he is responsible for tens of thousands of deaths. And we have it on video. We see he knew what he was doing. So thanks for checking out the video, and we'll catch you later.